So I want to talk about the Microsoft Surface laptop a little bit. This is a beautiful device, and it's announced today in the education event in NYC, New York City. And I would say that this is the device I really, really want, and I really, really love to get one in the university. So I will be in university very, very soon, and I have to say that this device is quite beautiful. So let's take a look at the design. The design of this device is pretty beautiful, pretty sleek, pretty thin, pretty light. It got everything you want in a great, perfect laptop. It has amazing retina displays with high pixel density. It also got a great fabric finish, so you can rest your palm easily and comfortably on the laptops. Also get a great trackpad, great keyboard, great key travel. It's so thin, so light, and got dual core i5 or i7 Kaby Lake 7th generation Kaby Lake processor. It got 4 GB RAM, 8 GB RAM, and 16 GB RAM selection. It also got 128 GB, 256 GB, and 512 GB of solid state drive. So it's an impressive device with all the spec you want for a student, I think. This device is targeted for a student market. It has everything you need for a student. I think that is well enough for what students can create it. So this device should be good to last your university life. Impressive. The only thing I think that is a little bit sad about this device is it doesn't have a USB-C port. It has a USB 3.0, it has a headphone jack, it has an HDMI display port, I guess, but mini display port, I guess. So, but it doesn't have a USB-C port. But you think about all the futures that all the device will be USB-C. So this device, I don't think it adapts to the futures that quickly. But it's understandable because this device is facing to students, and majority of university and schools don't actually fully adapt to a USB-C device. Majority of school and university are still using the USB 3.0 standard. So this device, it's okay for students, but not for tech savvy person or people who work at a professional industry. So get a Surface Book with much more port selection, much higher performance, and everything you want for in the Surface Book or the Surface Book performance base. So this is, but I think overall it's a great device for a student. It looks like a 12-inch MacBook design, the 12-inch MacBook design, but it has the performance and the specs of a 13-inch MacBook Pro. I feel like the Microsoft is just more Apple than Apple itself. The Microsoft is really like try to change the market share in the student laptop electronics market because their situation is pretty bad because in your university, majority of students are using MacBook instead of Microsoft or Windows devices, so they try to change these kind of situation. I think this is an important step to that goal. So great job, Microsoft, on creating such a device. And I like to talk about prices a little bit. The pricing of this thing is interesting, starting with thousands US dollars for the base model, and it can get up to $2,000 for the most high-end models. For that price range, I think it is still quite a little bit more expensive than I expected, I think. So for a student, I don't think they can afford to getting this price range devices. I would say if you make the price range $200 cheaper, starting from like $800 to like $1,800, that price range will be a little bit more comfortable, more better for a student, for their family, for their parents to getting them such a great laptops. But $1,000 is still quite expensive. It's still quite sad, and yeah, so but it's not a big deal for people because I guess it has many great technology to that, and you see that the pricing of electronics getting more expensive in recent years. So it's not a big problem for pricing this device at $1,000. I think that's a reasonable and okay price. And what gonna buy it? Well, I don't think I actually need it. I have a MacBook late 2016 model, MacBook Pro 13-inch late 2016 model. I get an XPS 15 2017 model, so I don't think I need this device anymore because it's not as powerful as my XPS 15, which has a quad-core i7 processor and 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gigabytes of storage. I don't think this device can compete performance with my XPS, so I won't get it. But I would say this is an important step from Microsoft to really challenge the leaders of the educational market. And I would say impressive, Microsoft. Microsoft recent years has been transformed into a really innovative company, like the Surface Book, Surface Studios, and the Surface Pro 4 and the Surface laptop really makes me excited and surprised. And Apple is starting to make me disappointed every year because not too much has been changed every year. The only thing that I still love the Apple that much is the software. The macOS, iOS, and watchOS, these kind of software is just genius, just amazing. But the hardware piece is not as amazing as I expected all the time. So that's a little bit sad for Apple. In the smartphone market, the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus is a serious challenger to the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. And the Surface Book, Surface Laptop is a serious challenger to the MacBook Air, MacBook Pro, or the 12-inch MacBook. So I would say, Apple, please give us a surprise in the fall of year 2017, which is a few months later. Please give us a big surprise on your next generation iPhone or MacBook. We will really be excited to see that. Just like what you did in the year 2007, you surprised us with a revolutionary smartphone, which is called iPhone. So please, Apple, we need you more than ever. We really need you more than ever. And you need to work hard on that. If you don't work hard, it's very easy for Microsoft, Samsung to surpass you because they are really cool these days at the beginning of year 2017. So whatever, I would say great job, Microsoft. Thank you for making such a great device. And I'm not a fan of Apple or a specific company. I'm just a fan of all technologies. If you can amaze me, if your hardware pieces or software pieces can really amaze me, I would say great. Then that's a good news for everyone, for every student, for every adult, for every people around the world. So thank you for bringing us so much surprise, Microsoft, and beautiful. It's a beautiful devices. So thank you for watching and have a great day, everyone, and see you guys tomorrow. Bye.